was asked to do a live show for the YNs. I never even knew what that meant.
Well, I can't even go live on Instagram.
Oh no. You on there?
Should be down there with
Let me see.
Post story and real shit.
No. It should you slide across, it didn't go back to the main home, to the home page. That's the home. It's not a
Welcome
plus
to
sign
live
there.
chat. Remember to guard your promise.
Yeah, that's the only one you got.
I just want to hear about my picture.
No, that's just stories.
I'm live already. We all this shit on
Oh,
there.
that's just, hey.
Peace.
They don't let you go like that. You can't go. Is this the show page?
No, that's my regular page.
That's what I just started.
It's supposed to be right there. Let me see. Let's get into the stories. I don't know, but normally up here you can get a plus sign, but there's not one up there.
You did it last time.
Yeah, you normally should. There's no upper way.
Shit's stupid.
If it's not down there where you slide for your show, it should be right up here. You don't have one up there, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Go to the top.
Nah.
Press home and refresh the whole thing. Yes, and when you put the
I got it on. That's you too, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
See the clock ticking, so we already building.
so you can go on your Facebook then?
I ain't never go live on Facebook before.
I can add it to your page.
I
But
ain't
yeah.
go live on Facebook.
Go to Facebook, go to your home.
Yeah.
Right where it say post, it should be a red camera. Like you go, no, is that your page? Or in mine? Live video. But set it up so they click that. And then to make sure you turn your camera.
I got to turn the other way.
No, as long as it's facing you. I'm just saying sometimes I get on mine and it's not facing me.
Yeah, mine ain't facing me either.
You see the little thing to turn it around? Probably like a little camera image with like arrows around it. Like it's telling you to spin it. You can spin the camera.
No, I
Let me
ain't see that. These glasses is failing me. I need to get me some contacts.
One of these. Oh God.
Mine do the same shit. Bear with us, world. We in here manifesting the technical difficulty degree. So as soon as we straighten it out, we'll be off and running.
Yeah, hit the arrow. I didn't know.
Hit the arrow.
No, it already. No, you hit it the first
Ready?
time. Yeah. So now you just gotta hit your live. Go live. You see the word live?
Yeah, come on, we ready. Just say trying to connect. Fuck it.
Cause I can hit it to the page anyway. I think it's.
We live.
Live. Peace. Insight from the Godz, live and direct. Our topic for the night, self-awareness. What does it mean to be self-aware? Right before we begin, real quick, I want to give a special shout out to my brother Delmont Player, man. He really been soldiering since the brother been home, and he been putting his foot down and leaving his mark everywhere he go. And I got to give the brother a salute. And I want to salute everybody, man, that supported us off the jump, man, before we even start building. Everybody that really stood beside me and brother Knowledge, man, that saw our vision, man, I salute y'all, man, woman, and child, everybody.
No doubt, yeah. Big up to all the real men that's doing it. We not up. And I definitely want to give a big shout out and a salute to Reggie Curl, rest in power, brother, good brother.
Peace.
Always a tragedy when we lose a good friend, a good solid individual.
Solid.
We definitely deserve to be honored and recognized every chance we get, because oftentimes we don't let them know how great they are until they're gone and it be too late. So we want to try to rewrite that narrative and try to give them their flowers while they're here. But we're going to have an interesting build today about spiritual awareness and self-awareness and everything that encompasses it. So stay tuned, get your popcorn, because we ready to get to it.
Yeah, I seen a couple of sly remarks. I think somebody asked us, was we making a rap or something?
What?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm misreading that. Somebody say, are y'all making a rap? Yeah, we about to wrap your mind with some divine information that you never had or never heard before. And we don't need no beat to do it. Yeah, we about to make a good rap. Our topic for the night is self-awareness. And a lot of times when I conversate with people just in my daily interactions and I find out what direction people are going or where they're at, I notice that a lot of them are really not self-aware. A lot of them are not aware of who they are. They're either stuck in their past pain or they're even looking to the future where they can't really map out what is that far ahead of them. But they're never present. They're never in the now. And genetically, you come from the past. You have the genetic makeup of people and ancestors who came before you. And so that is what gave you your presence. The same genetic material that came from people of yesterday is what projected you into this position in your presence. And you have the active ability to reproduce yourself through your children and go into the future. However, I would be more concerned with what I am doing now. Don't get trapped in past pain. Stop bringing old energy to new situations. Stop trying to solve new problems with old energy. When you observe the serpent world and you look at a snake, in order for a snake or a serpent to grow, it has to shed its skin. What have you shedded? What have you let go of in order for you to grow? If a snake has to let go of its old skin, that's symbolic to letting go of your old ideas, letting go of your old perspectives, letting go of everything old that changed you to a disposition and a mindset that does not allow you to be present in the moment and deal with what is happening right now at this particular moment and chapter in your life. And I think a lot of times we want to meet new people and we be in these business meetings and we want to get a chance to conversate with people and advance to a new level, but you can't do that with an old idea or with old vibration and old energy. A lot of times we often believe that every condition is for everybody. Like you might meet somebody that is not the same as the next person, but you have a one standard approach. You have an approach to deal with everybody the same way. And I never understood that because each individual is different, but you have some people that'll try to play with you the way they play with everybody else. Or they'll make an assumption about you based on something you do when they never took the chance to know, never took the chance to get to know you. And these are the mistakes that we make in dealing with people because we don't let go of our old habits, of how we used to do things yesterday. And to all my people who have a business or who are business minded, remember this, your business is only going to be as good as you are. If your business running lazy, it's because you are lazy. If your business is not attracting new people and new minds and new energy, then you have to renew your approach. You have to raise your vibration so you can meet different people.
Amen.
Sometimes, man, I get it out the mud. That don't mean you stay in the mud. That don't mean when you talk to people who are on a scholastic level that you come talking like you still in the mud. That's not going to get no door open for you. I'm not saying that you lose the core of who you are. But at the same time, I'm not saying that you abandon your enlightenment and your education all in the name of keeping it real. When really keeping it real is showing growth and development in a different, in various circumstances that life presents to you. And so we want to pick that apart and build on that tonight and share our ideas with you and give you a couple of jewels to put in your crown and walk away, you know what I'm saying, with something valuable.
Indeed, no doubt. Wow, that's
Good. That was a mouthful.
No doubt, yeah.
Do we need any more
Yeah,
show?
so
Man,
I
y'all
want to, before I go
right off
into
the
this, I want to know what the comment was that made you laugh. I'm interested, so we can tackle that
Please.
first.
No, it was, they went off of the page to comment, so obviously they didn't want to read out loud. Let me say that.
Oh, they didn't want to realize. Okay, all right, salute, respect. But yeah, self-awareness, I'm glad you said that because that's a part of being self-aware as well. And it's like, do you have the courage to really stand on what you claim you represent or that you are? And if not, why get mad when somebody don't see it in you?
Sorry, I apologize. It can be read out loud. Person can't
Is
see
it
the
appropriate?
Yeah, they just said, oh, their cuteness wearing off tonight. They coming hard tonight.
Oh, I heard that.
Yo said their cuteness wearing off tonight.
Yeah, but yep, self-awareness, man. I see it all the time, like in everyday situations, like how self-aware we really aren't, right? And in order to know if you're self-aware, all you got to do is be real about yourself and see how many times that you aren't, right? And that means detaching yourself from results and things that happen in your everyday life that don't necessarily always benefit you, because a lot of times we go to things that we look to benefit us only, even if it's at the expense of making somebody else come up short.
Right.
Whether it can be just common courtesy with just, I was driving today, right? And I was going down the road and I saw this lady, she was like double parked in the street, like taking the lane up. And I seen the hazard lights on and there was traffic behind her. So I'm, first thing I'm thinking, like, what the hell is she doing, And it's wild because sometimes your perception can get so distorted.
Right.
And then you can jump to react off of what you see initially, and you formulate emotion that's harbored behind that connection immediately. And then you might look and say, oh, damn, well, a man fell out of his wheelchair in the street and she stopped to help him. Now, this whole perception get rearranged, right? But self-awareness is coming to that realization saying, damn, my bad. I just cussed out for no reason. As opposed to justifying it. Well, she could at least pulled up, This is how we justify our poor behavior. This is when you're not self-aware, because when it comes to you, the rule don't apply.
Right.
So I saw that, and it's almost like, I was reading this book, I think a Napoleon Hill book one time, and it was talking about how he was riding the subway one time, right? And he noticed this parent had two little boys, and they just kept jumping up and down and cutting the fool on the subway. And it was like, he had a hard day at work, it was just like really annoying to him. And he just looking at the man like, damn, why don't he just get his kids? The kids unruly, they cutting the fool on the subway, right? So he, in his mind, got his mind already made up. This is what's going on. This is what's wrong with society. They don't manage their kids well, and the whole nine, right? And then he heard somebody ask him, he said, hey man, is everything okay? And he said, yeah, they just lost their mom this morning, and I don't know how to tell them.
Wow.
So that's like a shift in perspective. It's like we'll formulate an opinion sometime without even having enough information. But are you responsible enough to dethrone that bad information and fix the situation, and fix the vibration, instead of going along and just justifying it because you don't want to say I was wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a part of being self-aware. And so it's so many components of that we don't exercise. And I guarantee you, if we all did our due diligence and exercise just common decency, our whole reality would change. It don't take no money, it don't take no troops, it don't take nothing. It take working on your own individual self and being on the same accord with the betterment of your brother man, just like you would want for yourself.
Right.
No doubt.
And we don't know the laws of empathy and how wanting something for your brother like you want it for yourself, because the real joy in exchange is in the giving and not the receiving.
Right.
So it's really about self-introspection, realizing that and understanding that you got what it takes. Give yourself some credit. Stop surrendering your power and your control. You know what I mean? To external forces like they got control over your reality, when you really the one should have that mastery over self.
Right.
Over your own self.
Absolutely your own self all day long. So the due diligence is on us. The responsibility is on us to become self-aware and to apply what we know.
Facts. As I was listening to the God build, came across my mind, like acts of kindness and being self-aware ties into being alert enough to know when somebody is assisting somebody and not just getting in your way. And sometimes if we stop being so self-centered and thinking everything is about us, we can see things work themselves out before we even respond. And so a lot of times we don't ask ourselves these questions, like when was the last time that I committed an act of kindness where no personal gain was involved? When was the last time I helped somebody and I never brought it back up?
Right.
When was the last time I did something for somebody and what I did for them didn't appear in a conversation with somebody else as if I wanted bragging rights for it? And since the God had already said, when the last time you did something You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't something in it for you to gain. Because really the power is in the act of giving. That is the exchange of that affectionate love, that bond, where you may not have to be bonded to the person, but you just out of the act of humanity, you want to see somebody day go smooth. You know what I'm saying? You want to see somebody day go smooth, especially us, because we come from a lot of pain, a lot of tragedy. You know, a lot of our past are shaded with acts of violence and disregard toward living things. So when do we actually be like, well, damn, I'm gonna help somebody. I don't even want nobody to know I'm helping them. I'm just gonna give some anonymous help. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even looking to straighten out your karma. You ain't even looking for that. You know what I'm saying? You just basically doing it because you're now wired with a new energy, a new vibration, where you like, damn, I want to actually help people. I want to see people maintain. I want to see them elevate after maintaining. You know what I'm saying? I want to give them something that can last them a lifetime. And it might just be an indelible mark that you leave on their consciousness by the act that you do. Especially our youth, because they learn more by watching us than they do by hearing us. A lot of times people think they can talk their way into a situation, where a lot of times you just got to put the work in and people will see it like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Every time I turn around, I hear that this brother done helped that person, he done helped that person, and then you begin to create that energy, and people begin to feed off of that. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? He done fed them, he done helped them, he done did this. Because a lot of times when we was out there doing acts of violence, whether we was hustling to justify feeding our families, or, you know, whatever we was doing when we was doing what we was doing, we didn't pay our audience any mind. We didn't pay the people that admired us as onlookers any mind, and we were setting the wrong example. So maybe now we can do some acts of kindness and it'd be like, damn, now we have a new audience and they start repeating our behavior by what we do, and they start incorporating that in their everyday habit. And so it's like, damn, the world not gonna get better because we hope it do. You know, shit not gonna change because we wish it changed. This ain't no wishing on a star. You the star. You know what I'm saying? And the wish is that you get up and do something as a star to help the world get better. You know what I'm saying? And this is the manifestation of what you know. You know what I'm saying? Awareness implies that you are conscious of something. The word conscious comes from the Latin word conscio, to be aware, to be alive. So mentally you are alive and you are aware because you claim to be conscious. When you're conscious of a thing, it's like, damn, I'm a conscious man. My eyes are open. I see that. Now I know what not to do because I'm conscious of the effects of what I'm doing and how it has an effect on people around me. I think that a lot of times we overlook that. And self-awareness is a critical look at yourself where you don't overlook it. Where you start to be so critical of what you do, it's like you think somebody watching you all the time, even when nobody's watching you. What do you do when the eyes are not on you? Is this an act or is this who you are? You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, a person might look at you from a distance and be like, damn, yo acting. Yo, you don't really be building like that, or he don't really be studying, or he don't really be reading books, or he don't really be reaching out to the youth until they actually get around you and see what your day about. And they like, damn, y'all don't party or nothing. Y'all don't drink. I don't never see them in too many of these gatherings where they doing that. And that's when your word become your bond and you begin to breathe on the youth and on the people and on their parents. Because a lot of times the parents need to check up from the neck up. It ain't even about the youth sometimes. You got to get to the parent, because when you're gone, the parent is who the youth is around. When you're gone, the hood, the influence the hood got in their friends, they are around when you're not around. So now we got to set precedents and change the vibration. That's right. We got to put our foot down like in a different way. And it'll be so enjoyable because it's not by force. We're going to make what we do so magnetic. It's going to be like, damn, that's attractive. Like, it's power in that. You know what I'm saying? I walked through a hood that I didn't destroy. I walked through a neighborhood that I helped build. I walk through a neighborhood where either through sports, either through martial arts, either through boxing, either through some kind of mental acumen that I have spread to them. Chess in the hood. Brother Knowledge teaching the youth how to play chess. That's a strategic, indelible mark on the mind. That's critical thinking. Like that's invaluable. You know what I'm saying? And before I let the brother add on to that, that's where we want to go with that. Like the brother was building on value the other day. And what value do you have? That ties into your self-awareness, because if you don't think you are valuable, then your awareness of yourself is in question if you don't see the value that you have.
No doubt, no doubt. Definitely. It's like if you don't recognize your value, the world will assign you a role. Like,
Facts.
If you don't write your own script, the world got a script for you.
Yup.
And I don't think you're gonna really like it, because it's impossible to like it, because it go against your human nature. So it'll never work out. Even if it's same temporary, it'll never work out. So the best thing you can do is really kind of like get in alignment with yourself, and you do that by creating a higher vibration within your own self, by proving to yourself you can do the unthinkable.
Right.
That's what it is, setting margins and conquering shit. You know, setting courses for yourself. Damn, I'm tongue tied tonight. But you setting barriers and you keep raising the bar with it. That's what it's about. But you want to prove it to yourself. It's like sometimes we'll do stuff to prove ourselves to other people.
Right.
We won't even do it for our own self.
Right.
We might go over somebody else's house and be neat as hell, but our house a fucking mess. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is it about the external validation? So I want y'all to stay tuned, because I got a book ready to come out. I'm almost finished. It's called Finding Your Why. Finding your life's purpose. And anybody that feel misdirected, this is going to be the one to get. I'm telling you, I got some jewels in it. I got some bombs in it. For real, you know. So, yeah, but it's really about self-transformation, and we all need it. You know what I mean? We need it from every angle we can get it. Some stuff ain't going to always apply to you right away. You might not get it right away, but still absorb it. And the thing I've realized nowadays with a lot of our youth, man, is like they so abrasive. It's like it's hard to reach them, but if you can get in, if they can let you in some kind of way, it's your duty to make that shit worth it. While you have that time to plant a seed. I drive trucks, so I was at the warehouse today, right? And they got a new warehouse worker. It's a tall, young guy. And you can tell he knew, because I know all the other guys, right? So he don't know me. He don't know I come here all the time. But he got this defensive demeanor about himself. His mug broke down. Like, I hate his vibration. I hate his attitude. So here's the challenge. This is where we all find ourselves in with this kind of frequency. We'll match back that same frequency sometimes, right? And that's like two negative components fizzing up to an easy situation. So when I went to give the dude my paperwork, I know how it go, because I'm used to going here. He knew. So I gave him my copy, because this the part I need back for me. He not knowing, he gave me that back. So I'm trying to explain to him, like, nah, that's my copy. I need that for me. This is for y'all. I need mine for me. I said, you ain't hustling the street? He said, oh, yeah. I said, all right, equal exchange. Why would you think I would give you the paper and I don't get nothing back? How I'm going to prove that I've been here, right? But this is just ways of teaching, and it's just your delivery, right? So from that point on, he act like he got a little attitude, you know, because I had to give him something that made him feel a little bit inferior. Because he never had been in a space where he can really humble himself from somebody he respect. And he don't know me, but he know what I'm saying is respect worthy. But he can't figure out how to connect it without feeling like he feels less of himself. He don't know how to humble himself. So I understand this. My job as the older in the situation, as the teacher in the situation, I gotta find out how to neutralize this. So so I gotta take my airline off. He like, can you take your airline off? I ain't like that attitude. So I took it off, you know what I mean? I ain't say nothing, because I'm still trying to figure out how before I leave, I'm gonna drop something on him. I ain't figured out yet. So I took the airline off. So now he went to try to, you know, to get it at first. So he couldn't get it. So I took it off. So then I said, come here for a minute. I said, he's like, my bad, I don't know how to get it. But he walked off. I said, so why are you leaving? Why not just say, yo, show me how this go? I said, because you work here. This is a duty of you. It's stuff like this that help you elevate in your position. But when you take the position that you take in and just decide to walk away, you short yourself. Right? But what I did, this was my responsibility was, I said, come here for a minute, let me show you. But a person that didn't know how to have self-awareness would have remembered how he responded in the beginning. I said, man, fuck him. And went on about their business. But I said, no, come here, let me show you. So I showed him how I go on there and let him try it. His whole energy changed. Now I'm big homie. Now there was respect. Now his whole energy changed. So the power is in us. If we see behavior we don't like, it's on us to figure this shit out. Because if not, he gonna take that to somebody else, and they might not know how to solve it, and they might come up short on the other end of the stick with everything to lose. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what it means about being self-aware and knowing how to apply that part of self-awareness so that you can teach the jewel in the midst of whatever situation you in. It's on us to teach the uncivilized how to be civilized.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah, that was peace, Lord. I was sitting here listening to you, Bill, and a thought popped in my head. I was like, damn, I've never seen fire put out another fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a lot of confrontations we get in, we try to match the person's energy instead of saying, damn, I can't put that fire out. I gotta be water. You know what I'm saying? In order to get them to cool off, I gotta cool them down with some water. So my words now gotta be cooler.
That's right.
I can't come with a temperature to match theirs.
That's right.
I gotta be cool with it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So now my approach is, what do I say? You know, it's almost like you sizing a person up, and it's just the opposite. You know, back in the day, we sizing it up like, yeah, I think I could take him. You know what I'm saying? This nigga cracking slick. You know what I'm saying? But now we sizing you up to see what is to be applied for your disposition. You know what I'm saying? What medicine or what panacea, what cure do I offer for this type of illness that we're constantly in front of? You know what I'm saying? And some motherfuckers are so bereft of activities. They're so lacking in things to do. They don't really have nothing to engage themselves with except self-anger and self-hate. And this is why it's easier for us to attack each other than it is for us to attack the oppressor. And Brother Knowledge was talking about that external approval before you seek the internal approval. It's like, damn, like, you'll rather somebody else validate you before you raise your vibration and validate yourself. Right. But there's a process in that. Just because you validate yourself don't mean what you validating is peace. You know what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers be validating shit and it should be some straight bullshit. We ain't talking about the bullshit. We talking about like analyzing yourself and knowing, damn, if I know I got a quick temper, if I know I'm an irritable person, then the person who may be aware of this that's not developed, they may know how to push my buttons because I'm wearing that I'm irritable on my sleeve. That's right. And so now I'm giving somebody outside of me control over me, external. I'm giving somebody external control over me because I'm revealing what button to push. But if I went internal, if I met my own approval and said, damn, let me stop doing that, because that's going to expose me to something external, and I can meet my demise from that. So we got to constantly be working on us. And actually, if everybody constantly working on themselves, they don't really have time to be gossiping about what another motherfucker doing, because everybody taking that time to get themselves together. You don't have time to be like, yeah, because, you know, this is, you know, it's always something outside of you that you need to aim your gun at. And some people, as I thought deeply on this, they don't even feel justified unless they got something to criticize. Right. Like, it's never like, damn, good day. Right. Damn, I ran into a good brother. We had a good conversation. Right. I met this good sister, wasn't even trying to talk to her. Nothing. Sister was just conscious. Right. You know what I'm saying? We exchanged a few words, and the words were so powerful, it gave me a new perspective on life. Right. But most of us, we are looking to find fault in people, right, as if we don't have any. Right. We walk around this motherfucker like, damn, let me find out what you're doing wrong today. Yeah, let me look at that. Let me look at that podcast and find out what they talking about today. You're not watching it because, damn, I'm glad to see the brothers doing what they're doing. This their way of giving back, and they're giving out information and they're sharing their story. We're controlling our own narrative and not allowing somebody else to manipulate our pain and our story and share it with you. But you want to find something wrong with that. So this is where we give ourselves the checkup from the neck up, like acts of kindness. Damn, for 30 days straight, just look for the good in people. For 30 days straight. Right. and compliment them on that. Express it to them. Then it can start with you. Look for the good in you and give yourself a self-compliment.
Yourself on the back porch.
You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some flowers. You keep humble, man, they won't give me my flower. Give yourself your flowers. Right. You know what I'm saying? The other people may not be woke enough yet to acknowledge your greatness. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself your own flowers. But for those who you recognize that have potential and are doing things, show them some love. Get them something to be like, damn, finally somebody's acknowledging me. Not that you need to validate them, but a good compliment goes a long way. Definitely, it goes a long way. And the energy behind it is positive. You know what I'm saying? It's positive energy. And don't fall in love with these leaders. Stop trading your own abilities in looking for a savior, because everybody is flawed. Everybody is flawed. Take the beauty of what they have to offer you and move on, but don't fall in love with the leader. This is why people want to, no, man, because see, I'm on Malcolm's side, and I'm on this person's side, and I'm on Elijah's side, I'm on Brother Farrakhan's side. All of them are regular people. Whether they reach the level of divinity in their growth and development, you are to do that also. The same way with the Jesus degree. You're too busy worshiping Jesus instead of becoming what he wanted you to be. That's right. If Jesus left the degree, he said, no one cometh to the Father but by the Son. By the Son's what? By his example, by how to move in life. Jesus said, be wise as a serpent. Remember, I started off talking about how the serpent sheds its skin in order for it to grow. Jesus said, be wise as a serpent, but humble as a dove. Wow. Powerful. What does that mean? Well, let me give it to you. The serpent represents wisdom. The serpent also represents transformation, but the serpent also represents silence. If you watch a serpent don't make no whole lot of noise. It moves in silence. Your study, your self-critiquing, that should be your quiet time, your silent moment. When he said be wise as a serpent, then behind it, he said be humble as a dove, because the dove nature balances that of the snake. If the snake is poisonous and can hurt, then the dove is the messenger with wings. Wings mean you can ascend higher. You can raise your vibration by those wings. The wings are your intelligence to tell you, stop responding that way. Raise my vibration by flapping my wings. Become that beautiful dove. Combine both natures, because sometimes you got to spit fire like the serpent to put people back in their place. But after you do that, then you hit them with the wings of the dove to cool them off. Like Brother Knowledge was saying, he had to let the brother know, but he had to do it in such a way that was loaded with wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like we don't have like the overall wherewithal to like really compliment our friends. Like I have moments of proudness all the time when I be around my brother and I just sit back and I hear him say some powerful shit. You know what I'm saying? Not only do it lighten my burden of me having to find a way to say it, but it shows me his growth and his development, and it's nothing like witnessing greatness while you're with it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's where that syndrome come from. We want to acknowledge them after they're gone. No, like let your people know, whoever you walk with, your personal circle, if it's your wife, if it's your girlfriend, let them know I'm proud of you. Because you are something today that you wasn't yesterday. That's that change. That's that vibration that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If you know you're sitting home and you just looking around to find some fault in people, just give yourself a checkup from the neck up. Be like, nah, let me stop doing that. Let me start acknowledging the greatness in people. Let me stop picking arguments with everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you have the habit of everywhere you go, there's a problem, then it's not the people, it's you. If everywhere you go, you're falling out with everybody around you, it's not the people around you, it is you.
That part.
So now what you got to do is you got to fall back. You got to start from the dome piece and work yourself down. You know what I'm saying? Anoint yourself with oil. The oil is the wisdom. Be like, damn, I'm moving funny in these streets. People looking at me crazy. You know what I'm saying? But you should be looking at yourself crazy and not leave it up to somebody else. And that's the purpose and the love of self-correction. Self-correction is, damn, I know I shouldn't have did that. When you take yourself in the closet, you beat your own self up. And that shit sounds psycho, but that's the real deal. Fuck talking to yourself. You need to give your own self an ass whipping. Like, put hands on yourself. Now, I ain't telling nobody to go home and literally beat that self up. Not with your fist. We ain't doing that. But I want you to chastise yourself sometime so that inner correction can be awakened. So that self-accusing spirit can come back alive in you. So before you even commit an act, whether it's with your mouth, sometimes you can just look at a person's inadequacies and be like, damn, I remember when I was like that. You know what I'm saying? And just try to give them a jewel. You know what I'm saying? And before I pass it, I want to remind us that sometimes what we say to people is just a seed that we're planting. It may not be time for that information to blossom and to grow in that person, but you still got to do your job and plant that seed. And when you plant the seed, you're not underground to watch the seed germinate and grow. So it may be growing in a person, just not at the pace that you expect. And so you walk away in disappointment. And then when you see that person a couple years or a couple months later, you're like, damn. And they be like, yeah, I really was listening, man. It finally took root in me and then sprouted into something great and powerful. You know what I'm saying? So.
No doubt. Yeah, man, self-awareness in so many angles. And then one of the questions was, do you believe in karma? And if so, how are you handling karma? Now, my take on karma, I've got two different kind of takes on it. One side of karma to me is like, damn, why white people ain't got theirs for slavery? You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of
like that's one side I can look at it, right? When I want to be like, subjective to look at it like that. But if I chose to look at it like that, that perception is really going to shape my reality if I choose to adopt that perspective, right? Or I can look at it as karma is almost the energy that you create to evolve. Now, you're gonna evolve. You can't stop your evolution, but you're gonna evolve with good frequency or you're gonna evolve with bad frequency. And your evolution is a part of what you're creating. So it circles, it recycles. So the more bad you put into your existence and developing who you are, the more bad you're gonna come back around that Ferris wheel to you. It's inevitable to escape. So it's like we really are the masters of our fate and control our reality, because it's like a bank account. You put good karma, you do good deeds, right. It goes in your good bank account. It ain't to be tallied up, but you know in your heart you do more good than bad.
Right.
You never know when the universe gotta see and check and see how much you got in that deposit, that account. Yeah. The withdrawal. Yeah. You might can get pulled over. I always use that scenario. You might be riding dirty, and you got pulled over. And it's like, damn, of all fucking times. Right. No, the hell he didn't. Right? Then you got a choice in the matter. You can rely on your karma, or you can jump out and go for it. But if you jump out and go for it, there's a chance you might get shot.
Yeah.
So now you gotta rely on your karma. There's no feeling like that when that motherfucker get a call and you gotta pull off. Yep. And you gotta pass. And I know we like to give God thanks to God or the Creator or whoever you worship. But the really thanks is in that karma you created for yourself that it can withdraw from. So now that means you gotta go and put more back in there. You gotta do more good shit. Because you've been blessed. You've been blessed with this frequency for something to transpire, for you to have to go to a more emergency call. And you got to pass. So don't take that for granted, because you are at a deficit. So your responsibility is on filling that motherfucker back up 2 times if you can, just to show your appreciation to the universe that you're appreciating the evolution and you're handling the challenges the way that you see fit, because it worked out. If it don't work out, that wasn't for you at that time, at least.
At least at that.
You know what I mean? But yeah, they like love frequencies. You gotta love yourself enough to know that it matters that much. The way I conduct myself, because somebody always watching, whether you're at work, whether you're at your desk, whether you're at the school, whether you're at a PTA meeting, whether you're at a board meeting, whether you're just at a casual restaurant, your frequency should vibrate at a certain rate, and that's your duty.
Right.
Because otherwise you're gonna bump into a frequency that's an imbalance as well. And it might not be to your benefit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just on the note of karma, I do believe that in the regard you control your fate. It ain't no, I know like they said, well, it's already written, it was already written. No, it's not, because I can walk out here and walk out on Liberty Road and walk in traffic. I know that wasn't written.
Right.
That was my fate. You know what I mean? I made it my fate. So it's either it is or it ain't. You can't have it both ways.
No doubt.
So take responsibility to control your fate. You know what I mean? Because when you the picture, you can't see the picture if you the frame. And we trying to do both. You know what I mean? We in the picture still trying to see the picture, but you're the frame. You can't see the picture if you the frame. You got to step outside of the frame so you can see the picture. And you are the picture that you need to be reevaluating. We got too much. We're too far behind as a people to be worrying about everybody else. We got enough to fix about our own life, our own reality. And one thing I realize about pain and suffering and crime, nobody commit more crime than broke people. Broke people is the answer to crime. More crime is a broke location. Wherever because people that got money and doing well, they don't got time to be mad.
Right.
Only mad people is broke. The broke people is mad.
About everything.
You gotta self-evaluate. Are you one of them angry people? Get your money up. Don't blame the system.
Right.
Grab yourself by the bootstrap. You say you great. I know you don't tell nobody you're a failure.
Right.
So be great. Manifest great. Don't look for nobody to call you that. Fuck them titles going across a stage with a certificate and you don't represent what that certificate said. Be the representative. The certificate is just a receipt. That's all it is. Just saying I paid for this education that I got according to your indoctrination plan.
Right.
Because it ain't to serve you, it's to serve the system. If you can eat on the way, cool. But if you don't, you better do what you're supposed to do for me. Then you serve the system. But when you evolve to a certain level, you learn how to use the system to serve yourself. And that's what self-awareness and self-evaluation do. And you create your own karma to make that your reality.
No doubt.
Yep.
Yeah, that was peace, Lord. Yeah, that bill was definitely peace. I was sitting here thinking because I had started, off with that because, of course, we know, if it's anybody that anybody on the planet believe deserve that karma, it always go back to whites or the European because they have been a very antagonistic force on the planet since their inception. Now, as the brother was building, though, the God gave me a whole different perspective on it also because I think a lot of times when we think people escape karma, they really don't. They really have not. Theirs just come back in ways that we didn't perceive. We would like for it to come back in the way it happened to us. But a lot of them, they live a life of fear constantly. A lot of them, they're afraid of nature. A lot of them can't enjoy the sun. A lot of them, they're enslaved by envy of other races who are highly melanated. We have carbon in our melanin and they don't. It's a whole lot going on. A lot of their leaders, right? They did not kill blacks. If you look at Hitler, like, they'll talk about black Germans getting touched by Hitler, but we know what those people look like that Hitler touched. And when we look at all of these mass shootings at schools, none of them were black. So their karma comes back. It just don't come back in ways that we have tallied the math and said, well, damn, when you look at those suicidal cults, a Wacko and Waco, where was he from? Waco,
Texas.
Yes, right.
David Koresh.
Right, David Koresh. And a lot of those people that took their lives, a lot of them did not look like us. A few of them did. And that's not the only cult to do that where they didn't look like us. We had the Asian brother out in VA that time that shot that school up. I forget his name. But them students didn't look like us. So a lot of times their karma does come back. We just don't see it the way, or it doesn't happen the way that we would like it to happen. And so because of that, it's like, damn, we think that they have gotten a pass. You know what I'm saying? I think last week I said you should never judge a thing while it's in motion. That if you're going to make an assessment of it, you should let it come to a stop. So that ball is still in motion. So that karmic debt ain't up yet. You know what I'm saying? But like the God was saying, let's focus on us though. Let's keep the mirror on us and let's do the knowledge on what we supposed to be doing. And let's start creating. Let's help our karma by creating a future for our children. Let's help our karma universally by creating programs that open the mind and the consciousness of our people. Let's help our karma by catering to our creative side and buying and producing and controlling things that we need, like toilet paper, like sanitary napkins for women, like growing our own food. Do you know how much good karma you would get back just for facilitating that for your own people? Because that's something that is globally needed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the mindset to have. You know what I'm saying? It's like we'll spend all day on plotting a lick, sometimes a month, but we don't spend all day on our creative ideas. We don't spend all day trying to pool our resources to produce a product. You know what I'm saying? As a product of the creator, he gave you the active ability to create also. Why are you negating that responsibility that God gave to you? This is, to me, when people say, I believe in a God or I believe in the creator, well, his attributes, you should have them. One of them is creator. One of them is merciful. You have to be merciful. You got to help people. You got to look at other people's pain. This is what helps your karmic debt. When the brother was talking about you got to put something in to get something out, you have to have a sensitive ear, a compassionate mind to look at what people suffer from and not turn your head and be like, shit, I'm hurting too. I can't be giving yo nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that the more we look at the world, man, with a different perspective, the more we see a different world. You know what I'm saying? And we can't look at the world with those old eyes. And one thing we have to stop doing is allowing somebody outside of you, that external validation, to pick who your enemy is.
Right.
You let outsiders dictate to you who is or is not a friend, or just a neutral person. You let somebody dictate to you, oh, Obama black, he your friend. Wow. How many times have we seen that work against us?
Over and over.
What better way for your enemy to come, except for to come as your help?
Look at Malcolm and Martin.
Absolutely. What better way for the enemy to show up except for as a person that has the free gift for you? You know what the 48 say, beware the free gift. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to always be conscious of who we allow to dictate to us who our friend is or is not. You know what I mean? Look at Martin with him and Jesse's relationship. We got to look at these antagonistic friendships that has happened throughout all of this leadership. You know what I'm saying? It's always, when you analyze even street life, when you hear, man, my homeboy got knocked off, but first he was robbed. A stranger don't know what you got. You're not even going to reveal to an outsider what you have. So a lot of times when something go wrong with a friend, most likely somebody close to him knew it was going to happen or set it up, because usually the people close to you know what you have.
Know what you got.
You don't walk around telling strangers, yeah, boy, I got 100-something thousand in the house. You know what I mean? I got this. You don't say that to strangers unless you're just a babbling idiot. Not saying we don't have them, because people like to brag about what they got. But that still don't give them access to your location when you'll be there, or, you know, this, that, and the other. And so a lot of times we have to really be critical of a lot of things that we have been overlooking. Somebody said, oh, this good for you. Why? Why is it good for you? You've been wolfing it down, shoveling it down, and then you find out, oh shit, it gives me cancer. And then somebody else come along and say, no, it's bad for you. And when they say no, it's bad for you, you want to challenge them. As soon as the white man who you claim you don't like, as soon as he get on TV and say it's bad for you or good for you, you accept it hook, line, and sinker. Oh, yo, you know they just said on the news collard greens ain't good for you. Let me stop eating them. But somebody like Elijah Muhammad or Dr. Sebi probably been telling you that for years, and you would never listen. So you allow who you think is your friend to dictate to you what you should ingest or put in you, or you allow them to pick people and say, oh, he ain't your friend, or he is your friend. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to be more critical of ourselves, more critical of the advice that people give us, and learn discernment. Because if you can't discern or know what deception is when it's given to you, then you do yourself an injustice. You do yourself an injustice. And a lot of times when you help, it's good to not look for anything in return, because a lot of times when people help you, they want you to do something for them. They're just not saying it. It is an unwritten obligation attached to that help that they have not labeled as a favor. But it's really a favor. And so the more you purify yourself, the more that you can see. You know what I'm saying? If you are in the basement of a building or at ground level or basement level, you really can't see that far because other buildings are in your way. But if you stand on the top of the building, your view of the city is greater. This means you have to raise yourself up in order to see far. If you stay down, your sight and your vision is limited. So all man, brother, knowledge is telling you is raise your vibration, raise your level of knowledge, raise your level of consciousness so you can increase your vision and your sight. And for all you Bible thumpers, the Bible says where there's no vision, the people perish. So you need that vision in order for you to see, because to perish means to die off. And so we're not religious, but we're highly spiritual, and we know these books. And I think that that is something that people overlook about us. They think that we attack religion or religiosity. We don't. We just embrace spirituality more than that. And we wear that and we become that. And it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? But I think that if we learned how to use these tools that were given to us in the workshops of our mind, we would create more. And we wouldn't be at the mercy of other people, because if they stop selling us bottled water, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. We would have to probably start boiling our own and bottling it up ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things that these oppressors do really force us to do what we should have been doing in the first damn place.
Absolutely.
And so when people be like, man, I don't like Trump because he not doing this, or he not giving us this. All right, then if he ain't doing it, now you got to do it yourself. He's forcing you to create. He's forcing you to be what you were supposed to be in the first place, but you forfeited your responsibility. And that's how that went. Game over, you forfeited. And so now somebody is in the game that's forcing you to be the man you should have been, the husband you should have been, the father you should have been, and vice versa. Because it's not all on the parent, it's not all on the man. The woman got a woman up. The children got a child up. That respect got to come back. That honor got to come back. You know what I'm saying? The malice, the hatred, and the bitterness that we carry for each other outweighs, and I'm going to say this twice, outweighs what you call a racist white person. The hatred we have for ourselves, the bitterness we have for ourselves, and the overall malicious intent we have for ourselves outweighs the racism of white people.
Indeed.
You got people own family, man, that hate you, hate to see you progress.
Yeah.
They have every undercutting word to say. They have every dart or bullet to shoot at you psychologically to try to cut you down, not knowing that you went through a lot of shit and they was absent for it. So they don't really even know the shit you've been through, because they conveniently got the fuck out of Dodge, so they wouldn't even have to support you through that problem. So a lot of people, they don't really know the weight you carry, the burden you carry. And so now you got to develop that extra muscle so you can carry that. Then you got to shake off the foolishness so you don't carry that bitterness. You got to reach down and heal them. And then you got to raise them up. And then that's when they'll be like, damn. And sometimes it takes for you to leave. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I was going to say they don't always get.
Sometimes it takes for you to die. And when you long gone, they be like, God damn, yo, tried to tell us, yo. But why is it that way? Because acts of kindness are missing. Self-awareness is not prevalent. When you are self-aware, you know who you are. And because you know who you are, you know the value of who people are. It's only when you don't know the value of you that you discredit the value in other people. And that's heavy. When you lack the knowledge of who you are, it's impossible for you to recognize greatness in somebody else because you really don't see it in you. And so this is why you got to beat yourself the fuck up, like I said. You got to chastise yourself. That other person got to rise in you and be like, why the fuck am I thinking like this? You got to have that by yourself meeting. Y'all got to start scheduling some appointments with yourself and not being late for that appointment. You got to set up a date to meet with yourself and talk with yourself and have these discussions with who you are. So that when you pour into other people, you have a lot to give them. And like Brother Knowledge was saying, when you don't put nothing in you, if you don't put anything in you, if you're not studying, if you're not feeding your mind, if you're not feeding your heart, it's impossible for you to pour back into other people because you ain't giving yourself nothing. You ain't giving yourself anything. And so now when it's your turn to give back, you got to speak them words of wisdom that you was neglecting yourself of receiving. And that's what we're going to build on, that gift giving and receiving.
No doubt. Yeah, man, that was a lot. I wanted to speak on, like, when I was sitting here thinking while I was building, I was just thinking about the state of our youth, and not just the youth, black men, period. Because some of these old niggas worse than these young niggas.
Wow.
Man, don't lie, they is
Facts.
fucked up. So my men's group is really geared towards them so they can have something to teach these young guys. My group, not even really a youth group, it's a men's group.
Right.
Because a lot of people think that they men, and they're not. They males, but they don't make them men. And a lot of times when we get to these type of settings, we get a chance to really open up and discuss some stuff that we don't get a chance. And we realize how dull our life really is when it comes to manhood and what it means to be a man. But when we bounce them ideas off of each other, we sharpening each other up, and that shit is needed on a massive scale. You know what I mean? So when I was just thinking, I said, damn, I remember one time I was locked up, right? And I told this story once before, and it was this guy named Tiny in there, right? I was then Jessup, and I think he was in there for like murdering like 9 women, right? But you would have never known. He used to play dominoes every day, big fat dude, right? So he was on a tier with me. And I used to watch, man, we heard about what he done, but it's hard to fathom when you see their personality. It's like, damn, yo couldn't have did that. Right. So of course I ain't have enough balls to go ask him what happened. You know, so I was just always trying to make sure I talked to him. I used to play dominoes and shit, but he would never open up about that. So one day we was in the dining hall and we was in the kitchen. So these little young guys was behind me in the line and he was up in front of me. And they got to making fun of him and joking him and saying, you big fat motherfucker and all this, right? And they said, damn man, why you killing women? They joking and shit, right? So he said, come here, let me tell you something. So the niggas laughing, nigga, I ain't talking to you, you know, so he was for real. He said, because my mother was a whore. He said, and she used to prostitute, and she had me. So when she had me, and as I grew up, I didn't get the proper upbringing. So all I saw is different men coming in out of my mother's house every night. He said, so when I got older, I always hated my mother. So when I killed them women, I killed women that looked just like my mother. Wow. So that's like a sickness almost that get developed early on in the intelligence of your DNA.
Yes.
So this is why it's so important that when we bring in children into the world, if we're not giving them the proper nutrients and the proper environment and the development, what we are seeing on the news is a reflection of that. Is an imbalance in the household. Is an imbalance in the love factor. They're not getting the proper love. They don't see it because the mother trying to raise this boy or girl by herself, and the child through the 9 months went through the stress and this turmoil that she had to go through by trying to keep a baby father that wasn't trying to be a baby daddy or a man, if you will, for whatever reason.
Right.
You still had a choice in the matter. So when you take that initiative and still choose to bring this child into the world, even though under them disadvantaged circumstances, it's your duty to bring the imbalance, fix that imbalance. If not, that burden becomes on the world and it start affecting everybody else that's in the world. And then when you start to get thousands of these situations, you get 1,000 of these misdirected little youth. And it's jewels and it's diamonds within these little guys. They got some intelligence with them. It's just not tapped into because they're not in an environment that they can see it get expression. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when they go to jail, this is when they tap into their self. They find out they can draw. They find out they can rap. Because they get time to go into their self. Not advocating no jail, but if that's a part of the process to develop into who you are, so be it. We like things based on what our interests are. Just because we like it don't mean it's good for us. And just because we don't like something don't mean it's bad for us.
Right.
And we don't know the difference a lot of time. So a lot of stuff that happened to us turns out, damn, I'm glad I did go through that.
Right.
And it's always the pain. You don't never celebrate the joy, maybe at the pictures, but when you go through something and you make it through it, you be proud that you got through that. You get to look back and be proud of yourself and say, damn, I made it through that shit. I can do it again.
Facts. Not
that you want to, but now you're trying to prepare yourself so you don't have to struggle so hard.
Right.
You know, the next time. So the work is always within self. So the dysfunction that's going on out here is because these children don't have a proper nurturing, growing up, the proper environment, and the parents, it starts at home. It really starts at home. And it's like, it's unfair to release them out into the world and just at the world's expense, because everything got a recurring effect. Everything has an after effect. You know, there's an after effect to that too. It make them grow up 3 times as fast, which makes them twice as times won't listen to us. If they was forced to grow up 3 times as fast, it's like, well, we skipped over y'all. Y'all ain't tell us shit, so we over here now. We don't want to hear none of that shit on.
Right.
You know, that's how they feel. So they said, shit, I'd rather try it myself because you're not giving me a better alternative. You know, we trying to tell them how we did it. Well, how we did it don't apply for right now. We got to be able to be visionaries and see where they're going so we can know what they're going to need in the next phase. And that's what they'll be receptive to, I think. And it's on us to drop the jewel. That's why I drop it. Whenever I see him, whenever I can, I try to give it to him. I don't care if it caused dissension or not. My job is to give you the jewel. What you do with it is on you. But I did my civic duty as a civilized man. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Yeah, that jewel definitely was heavy because that opened up a whole nother stanza of conversation because I had said once before in my HEAL group, I said that if you want to study any killer, look at the relationship he had with his mother. And like a lot of my homeboys, even myself, like a lot of us that was cracking motherfuckers with that pistol, like in our upbringing, a lot of us, we had relationships with our mothers, but they were shaky, even though the love was there. But it always was something in that dynamic where you could tell, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Yo went through a lot with his situation with his moms. And my philosophy and concept and perception of that is, if your relationship with your mother has a fracture in it, it is easy for you not to love other people because the love at home base is fractured. Not necessarily your mother, it could be your grandmother. You know what I'm saying? It could be your sister. You know what I'm saying? But that home base, when you look at a rocket, everybody talk about the rocket and how it launched, but it is the base of the rocket that sustains it. If there's no good home base, 9 times out of 10, what's coming out of that home is going to be a terror to the world. You know what I'm saying? If you look at what comes from out of the mother, a lot of people, they make this big, ado about the Lord's Prayer, our Father which art in heaven. But our Father didn't carry Jesus. Mary did. But they cleverly wrote Mary out of the whole degree. When you study that, and I'm making a point here, it talks about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But ghosts don't produce Jesuses. Instead of the Father, the mother, and the child, they turn man, woman, and child to man, woman, and ghosts. They trying to ghost the woman out of the whole damn equation. But it is the woman that sustains the life. Your mother really is your first teacher. Do you know, I'm gonna point this out, and anybody who is from anywhere can remember this. If you remember back in the day, if you got into an altercation with anybody and it was brewing and it was getting heated, They could say anything about anybody in your family, but once they said your mother, you automatically went in their mouth. Because the mother was always something sacred. The woman has always been the vessel of the Creator. And this is why it bothers real men when they see this kind of mistreatment go on, or when they see women not acknowledging who they are and mistreating themselves. And I wanted to build on that real quick. I don't know what the math looked like, but we probably went over because we always do. But to point out and to take Brother Knowledge point even further about the brother that was in a cut with his tiny, like that relationship between the mother and the child, that's not to negate the father's relationship, but that mother nurtures that life form. The child is laid up on the mother when it's born, not on the father. The child nursing on the mother's breast. The child always with the mother, always cultivated and shaped and molded by the mother. The father there in the form of discipline and strength and honor and integrity in his person. But that nurturing, the part that nurtures that mind, that can be very dangerous if the mother has been poisoned mentally, or if there's a break in that bond, because that child will never be the same. And I mean for the rest of its life. And that's serious. But that Jesus degree is mean because it was Mary who carried the Jesus, not our Father in heaven.
Right.
They leave the woman out the whole equation. You know what I'm saying? But it was Mary that went through that nurtured that soul. And the mothers are the nurturers of the souls of children, and they can create either a savior or a killer.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And peace to my black women. And we got to get it together. We got to elevate it. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Now, big salute to the family, man. Keep the family in your prayers of Dakar Thompson, the little black girl from Boyd that was murdered by the Hispanic guy threw off the bridge, man. I don't think we
made enough noise about
stuff,
that,
man. That's what tripped me out about our people. We don't talk. We loud about the wrong shit,
right?
And the right shit. We quiet as a motherfucker. Ain't no Al Sharptons, no Jesse Jacksons, none of them sellouts. NAACP, I don't respect none of them. Never did. They never been for our people. You can't have the National National Association for the Advancement of Color People, because for one, we never been color people. We're original people. Colored is a past tense term, which means something was changed from its original state into something else. And that's not us. And we've been deceived by that, and we still carry that frequency. So until we realize that we're original people, we're not gonna never really see the true value, because we still believe that philosophy that we 3/5 of a man. So we gotta get that out of our mind by stop adopting the victimhood mentality. Stop being a victim. Stop being a victim of everything. Give yourself some credit. Give yourself a chance and have some grace in your own and confidence in your own ability to change your reality, and stop putting it on external forces. And next week, stay tuned. We might deal on some relationships, because that's really broken, and we need all perspectives when they're dealing with the black love of the black man and the black woman. That definitely need immediate attention at all facets, because we are so misdirected, so disconnected, and we gotta get that back. So we're gonna probably build on that next week. So stay tuned. And yeah, we're gonna find a guest. We looking for an enlightened mind, an enlightened woman that's wanna come and share her perspective on men issues. We can take up to 2 women. We might can squeeze them in here. But just to get some perspectives, man, we gotta have these healthy conversations, because it's necessary, it's needed, and we discredit it. And a lot of times when I see it, there be a lot of goofery and buffoonery going on with those type of conversations. The right shit ain't being said. They tiptoeing around it. So you know me, I go off, but I know we're out of time. But stay tuned. Follow my page, and let's get it.
No doubt. 5400 Preakness Way for my Hill group. You know what I'm saying? We building with the man, woman, and child, the black family, the community. And y'all know y'all can reach me on Instagram at Lakim_Godface, and on our podcast, which is Insight from the Godz.
And if y'all want to hear some mega talk, follow me on Thought Treants on TikTok. THOUGHTRIENTS7. Thought Treants. The same way the nutrients is for the body, the Thought Treants is food for the mind. So get that work. Let's get it.
Speak on it, God.
Peace.
Peace.
There you go.
Yeah,
I ain't
we're trying to
reading
get,
nobody,
Sister D here.
Yeah, see what Coach D.
Yeah, see if Coach D will come by. We gotta call her though.
Yeah, she hit me up the other day.
Yeah, see if she'll manifest that.
Who is that on your page? Life somebody.
Oh, I couldn't see. I had my glasses.
I was trying to like everybody comment. There's some of this, you know.
Do you get this? Do I get to see that over?
Yeah, it was live. It's on your page now.
Oh, it'll be on
And it's
the
on,
page.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
So you're good to go back and read the comments.
Somebody named, it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers on here. Welcome to Loud Chat.
So your live was on what?
It's on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
So I need to go on there. I need to pull it up so I can be on
It
it.
was on Facebook. I ain't never do Facebook before.
Yeah. You had some views on there and comments.
On
So
what?
I was
On my-
watching
on my
from your page.
Facebook?
Yeah. So I was kind of like
How the fuck
commenting
I
back
see
to
it?
people. Go to Facebook.